Hey guys, this is Oscar doing another weekend project. Today we're going to work on um replacing the inner and outer tie rod on this BMW. This is the 5 Series E60. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this job. And like always, enjoy the video, okay? Let's get started. Okay guys, so before you get started, just remember, safety first. Go ahead and make sure you put your vehicle on a jack stand, so whenever you're going to lift it. I have my floor jack as a backup. I don't really need it, but it helps a lot. And also make sure you chalk your tires, alright? Okay guys, so before you start this job, just make sure you have the right parts for the right job. It's always recommended to change your inner and outer tie rods in pairs. I did the driver's side already, so I just want to show you. This is the part number. This is the part number for the outer tie rod end, and it comes with the lock nut and also the grease fitting, the nut for the tie rod in here, and also this is for the inner tie rod. And again, here's the part number if you're interested. Alright, so let's go and get started. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and remove the rim. So let's go and do that here real quick. Okay guys, so it just should come off. If not, pretty stuck in there. That's not a problem. I'm gonna improvise. There we go. Okay, so just give you guys a little bit of a better view. This is the tie rod end, and in here, this is actually the inner tie rod. Okay, so, and just keep in mind, you will need an alignment whenever you do work on any type of suspension parts, especially on tie rods, because we're actually going to go ahead and mess with the alignment. So that's not a problem, because I'm thinking of getting my vehicle aligned sometime this week, hopefully tomorrow. But let's go ahead and start with this procedure, okay? Okay guys, so for the first step, we're going to go ahead and remove this lock nut right here. Normally what I like to do, I like to use a little bit of penetrating oil on these parts, because keep in mind they do get stuck, especially when you have a lot of rain, or depending on the area you live in, snow or stuff like that. So just go ahead and put a little bit of penetrating oil. So again, first step, we're going to remove this lock nut that's holding the tie rod end in place. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of penetrating oil on the actual nut that's holding the tie rod in there, okay? Just so that way it can soak nice and wet there, okay? Okay guys, so I let the penetrating oil sit for about 5 minutes. So you will need a 24 millimeter wrench, and this is so that way we can remove the actual lock nut there, okay? At the same time, you will need a 15 millimeter wrench, and this is for the actual inner tie rod, to kind of hold it in place. Let me get you a better angle here. So basically, this is the inner tie rod, and the 15mm wrench is going to hold it in place there. And normally this is done so that way when I try to loosen the lock nut on the tie rod end, it won't, the inner tie rod will not spin. Okay, so all you do, in case, almost forgot, in case you don't have a 24mm wrench, you could always use a adjustable wrench to do this. And again, it just goes here. Whatever, you know, works for you, you could do it this way. But just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use a 24mm wrench. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with my hand. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and hold this 15mm wrench that's holding the inner tie rod there. Okay, so let me go and show you how to do that real quick. Okay guys, so this is a better picture. Hopefully you can see this. So again, I'm holding the 15mm wrench here that's holding the inner tie rod, and this is the lock nut for the tie rod end. And again, you want to go ahead, in order for it to be loosened, you got to do it clockwise. You got to do it down to loosen it. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that here real quick. Bear with me. Okay, just gonna switch here. Okay, there we go. And the way I'm gonna take this out, I'm just gonna tap this downwards like so. See if I can do it with two hands. There we go. And now the lock nut is basically loose already. I don't know if you can see that. See. So now that's turning. I'm just gonna back it up a little bit, a couple turns. And this is the original BMW tie rod end, so it has I guess there's like a small ring that when this is tying up, it kind of grabs to the BMW tie rod in here. Let me kind of give you a better picture. This is what a separate ring. Let me see if I can get you guys a better lighting here. So it kind of slides. This is pushed inwards, and it's gonna tie in this ring, and it's gonna go in here. And supposedly it's going to go ahead and hold this tie rod. And again, this is the original BMW tie rod end. I have not changed it since I got this vehicle, and this vehicle has about 98,000 miles on it already. I got it only with 20,000 miles, so it's pretty worn out. Okay, so now that I have this out of the way, the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this nut, and I don't know if you can see this. See if I get better lighting. With me. Okay. So the way this is kind of the original BMW tie rod end, it has like these small little clips. I don't know if you can see them. So with the flathead screwdriver, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and open up these clips right here. And it has three. One here, one in the back, and one here. With the screwdriver, I'm going to open them up so that way I can put a socket, a wrench, so I can remove this nut here. So let me go and do that here. Okay guys, so this is a better angle of the clips that the tie rod end has on these BMWs. So this is a clip that I was talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and open up with a screwdriver, a flathead. So all it is, I'm just taking this, just opening it like so, and just take your time doing this. And again, you don't have to worry about breaking it because the new tie rod end that I have doesn't have this type of setup. There we go. And again, it has 3 of these clips. We're gonna go ahead and take this off. So again, we're just opening them up like so. So let me go ahead and open these up. I'm gonna use both of my hands so I can so we can go to the next step. Okay. Okay, guys. So now that we loosen again this lock nut on the tie rod end, we're gonna go ahead and loosen this nut. This is a 21mm nut. Now I did tell you before that it did have some clips, 3 clips, one here, one there, one here. I did try to pry them off with my screwdriver, but they were so brittle that they cracked when I tried to open them up. But now that we have that out of the way, let's go and remove this nut. And again, this is a 21mm wrench. Okay, let's go ahead and start removing that here real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, you see how the nut plus the tie rod end started moving? Let me see if you can see that together. See that? That's not supposed to happen, but if yours does, don't worry about it. We're gonna go ahead and fix that. Okay, all you need a T40. Let's see if you can see that here. All you need is a T40 socket. This is a star. It doesn't have to necessarily be this long. You could just have a small one as long as it's a T40, and then you can use an extension with a ratchet. But in this case, since I have this in my arsenal of tools, I'm going to use this. I'm going to go ahead and just hold it here like so, and I'm going to go ahead and continue ratcheting it, and that should prevent it from moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of that here real quick. Okay, there we go. Let's see if you can see that. Hopefully I'm not blocking that view for you guys. Let's see here. Let's see. I want to give you guys a good angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to hold it here. I'm just going to ratchet this, okay? Alright, so let me go ahead and continue to do that, guys, with both of my hands, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, guys, now that I remove the 21mm nut on the tie rod end, this should freely fall off. There's no need for you to bang it. So it's just kind of like come out like so. Okay, so this is the next step, which is a little bit actually the most important step, I think. We're gonna go ahead and remove this. If you're only installing the tie rod end and not the inner tie rod end, then the way that I recommend, and most people will tell you this, you want to go ahead and remove this by turning it counterclockwise. But just keep in mind, you want to go ahead and count the turns. So for example, if you turn it one time, that's going to be one revolution, I guess one turn, and then you keep on turning it and turning it until this actually comes off, and then you would install the new tie rod in reverse order, but you'll count the turns clockwise, so that way you'll kind of like be close to your alignment as possible. But keep in mind, you're still going to need alignment. But in this case, I'm not going to bother removing this tie rod end, because I'm going to replace the whole inner and outer tie rod end. So what I'm going to do next, now that I have this off, I'm going to go ahead and remove, this is kind of like a shield for the you want to, I guess, the tie rod end or the racket pinion. So I'm going to use, I'm actually going to remove, it's going to be about 3 8mm nuts. This is one of the nuts right here where the lights flashing. They're actually kind of screws, 8mm screws. You'll see when I take them off right now. That's one right there, and then there's a top one up there, and then there is a fourth one. I mean a third one right there. So let's go and remove that. Okay guys, so we're gonna go and remove this first 8mm. I want to say it's not an actual bolt, it's just kind of like an 8mm screw. And again, it's holding the actual, I want to say like a shield protected cover for the inner tie rod or the racket pinion. So here, let me show you what it looks like right now. Okay, we're gonna take this off. Okay, here we go. Kind of looks like this. It's 8mm, but it's kind of like a screw. So again, there's three. There's one right here and one here at the bottom, right there, and then a third one right there. So let's go ahead and continue removing those, like so. Just bear with me, I'm trying to do this with one hand so I can kind of give you guys a better angle here. Okay. Alright, and we have one more to remove. It's going to be right underneath here. So we better remove that here. Okay, here we go. Pretty stubborn little guy. Alright, here we go. That's a third screw. So again, this is just holding this, all you do is just slide it out here, like so, underneath. And it's basically this. And you know, again, the purpose is to kind of like protect it, you know, from any weather elements here. So just gonna remove that temporarily. Just gonna get it out of the way. Alright, and then the next step, we're actually gonna go underneath here. And I don't know if you can see this underneath here. There's like it's like a metal tie clip that's holding the boot, protected boot from the inner tie rod. In this case, we're not gonna salvage it. I'm just gonna break it off with my diagonal pliers, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put a zip tie on it. So let me kind of show you how I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. Bear with me. Alright, this is my diagonal pliers. Gonna rip this off. I believe these are like one-time usage. So it came out like this. And then if I pull this protected cover, this is the racket pinion right here. And this is where, let me give you guys a better angle here. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and remove, there's this clamp here. Let me show you. See this little clamp holding this boot? Let me go ahead and remove that here real quick, so I can pull this down and I can kind of show you what the inner tie rod looks like. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm gonna remove this clamp here. Bear with me. See if I could turn it my direction. There we go. I'm just gonna slide it out. There we go. And now this is gonna kind of like, I'm able to move this downwards. You'll see right now. And that's gonna expose, this is the actual inner tie rod end. And basically I'll show you how to remove that in a little bit. Let me get you a better angle, okay? Give me 1 second here. Okay, guys, so the next step, we're gonna go ahead and remove the inner tie rod. And for this process, you could actually use, this is a 38mm wrench, as you can see. This one fits nicely on the actual inner tie rod. And then, you know, we'll just turn it counterclockwise. So for this, you definitely do want to lift your vehicle just enough off the ground so you can kind of bang it, and then it'll just, you know, come off. If you don't happen to have a 38mm wrench, what you could also do, you could actually use a 12-inch adjustable wrench, and it works kind of like the same way. As you can see, it has that opening, so we can go ahead and remove it. So let me go ahead and remove this here. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me see if I could change hands here real quick. That way I can kind of show you how to do that. Bear with me. Okay, guys, hopefully this is a better angle. So let me go ahead and remove this here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna use this adjustable wrench so that way I can show you how it's done. So let me go ahead and push it. There we go. Alright, that's perfect. So you don't need any special tools when you're doing this type of inner tie rod end. So see how much play this is? It's basically wobbling. This should not be doing this. So let me go and remove this. And there you go. And that, my friends, is how you remove the inner tie rod. And again, I took out the whole tie rod end. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure this tie rod, inner and outer tie rod end, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my other new tie rod end and inner tie rod end, and I'm going to put the same measurement like this one, so that way it can kind of be close to my alignment. And again, you will need to get a professional alignment done, but this is going to kind of get you there. So let me go ahead and show you the new inner and outer tie rod. Okay. Okay, guys, so at this moment I'm taking my old tie rod in. Let me go and remove this here. So all I'm doing right now, I'm kind of getting an idea the length of this tie rod end, and the way I do it, I'm just going to measure it from the end to the end of the actual, to the start of the inner tie rod to the end of the tie rod end. And I have there, let's see, I have 16 inches precisely. So now that I have my measurement, I'm gonna go ahead and get my inner tie rod and then the tie rod end, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them together. So let me go and do that real quick. Okay guys, so basically I'm putting everything back together. Here's a new Moog inner tie rod, and what I'm doing, I'm actually putting the protective boot cover like so. And then I'm putting actually the clamp that's going to clamp into this. I'm just going to put it in place like so. And then I'm actually putting the new lock nut. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seed on the thread, just a tiny bit, so that way when I go get a line in the future, and the technician tries to align it, it could be smooth. That way this doesn't get stuck in there. And I'm going to put the actual tie rod end here. And again, I'm going to measure this one. I took the measurements on the old one, and it was 16 inches, 16 1/8. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that same measurement. And again, this is not a 100% alignment. This is just close enough to where the original was, so that way I could go get this professionally aligned. Alright, that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to measure what I had before. Bear with me. I think I went a little bit too further. Go back out a notch. Alright, that looks close enough. 16 1/8. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten this a little bit here. And now let's go to the car so we can go to the next step. Okay guys, so I'm about to install the inner tie rod in with the actual inner tie rod in with the actual tie rod in. But as you can see, when I try to install this, here, let me show you. There's a little problem there. I'm not able to straighten that out so I can install it. But this is an easy fix. All we have to do is turn the wheel to the left, and this racket pinion is going to go ahead and go inwards. So let me go ahead and do that for you. That way you can see what I'm talking about, okay? There you go. Okay guys, so as you probably saw, it went a little bit in. So now we have a little bit more room to install this and straighten it in there. Okay, so let me go and give you a better angle of how we're going to do this. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay guys, another thing I forgot to mention is that there is a seal, this black seal right there that goes all the way around. If this is damaged or if you see something leaking, then you definitely want to go ahead and take it off. Okay, but in this case it's good, so I'm not going to repair it. I just wanted to point that out. Okay guys, so I'm about to install the inner tie rod. I do always encourage to use blue Loctite when you're installing the inner tie rod, just to keep it from moving. Alright, so I'm going to install a little bit in there. Just a small little dab. We should be good to go. Okay guys, sorry about that, I had to take a quick phone call. As you can see, slide it in there. I'm turning it. And according to BMW, for this type of chassis, this is going to be at 81 foot-pounds of torque. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a big enough wrench like to torque this to that amount. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just tighten it as best as I can. So let me grab my wrench here. Okay guys, sorry about that. So now I'm just making sure this is nice and tight. I had to switch to my adjustable wrench, guys, just because my 38 was too long. So I'm just tying this as best as I can. Okay guys, it looks really good. Alright guys, so now that I've tightened that out, I'm gonna go ahead and put the protective boot into it, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay guys? Okay guys, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, I put a temporary zip tie on this so that way I can show you guys how it looks when you're tying up the actual tie rod, inner tie rod in. So I'm just gonna rip this zip tie. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the dust cover in here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, and then we have that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the, I had taken this off because I wanted to show you how it looked inside there, but now we're gonna go ahead and put that clamp there. Where would it be? Alright, so now that the clamp is in there, I'm going to go ahead and put this nice and snugged in there, and then I'm going to put a zip tie, so that way that won't you know, move back and forth. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and install the actual tie rod. Let me show you. And again, we already took measurements, so we should be good. Once I install the tie rod in place, I'm gonna go ahead and come back here. Let's see if I can give you a better angle. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this. Once I put the tie rod in the steering knuckle and tying it to 59 foot-pounds, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this. I really don't know the torque of this, but I'm just going to tighten it to where it doesn't move. Alright, and basically pretty much the rest is in reverse order. We're going to go ahead and just put that shield, the one I had taken off, we're going to go ahead and put that back in place. And that's going to be it for this video. Again, this is the inner and outer tie rod replacement. Hope this helps you guys. Thank you for watching, and you have a good day. Okay guys, just wanted to show you here very quick. Make sure you put a heavy duty zip tie. This is a really good heavy duty one, because keep in mind you don't want dust or any type of debris going in here into your rack pinion with the inner tie rod in. I just want to kind of take a moment and you know, buy a good heavy duty one if you're able to do so. Don't put the skinny ones. And again, this is a pretty good zip tie that I'm using here, but I just want to kind of give you an idea what type of zip tie you definitely want to put in. Okay, and after that, I'm just going to cut this here, and that's going to basically hold this in place really good. See how I'm pushing on it? It won't come off. So that's what you really want to do. Okay, all right, thank you and God bless. Okay guys, I just want to apologize. I gave you bad information. I told you that the tie rod end should be torqued at 59 foot-pounds. I did find this notice. This came with the Moog tie rod end. It basically states that it should be torqued at 100 and let me see if I can get this to focus. It basically says proper stud fastener torque is required to prevent stud damage, failure, or damage to knuckle. Torque stud nut to 111 foot-pounds. Right there. 111 foot-pounds. I don't know if I could zoom in. I apologize guys if we can't zoom in. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to torque this to 111 foot-pounds. And again guys, I apologize, I wasn't aware of that. So I'm going to torque this down to 111 foot-pounds. Okay.